Hello and welcome to my screencast reviewing 4 science simulations for my EdTech 541 project. And I chose to review 4 Fossweb simulations, 2 in the K through 2nd grade level and 2 at the 3rd through 6th grade level because I am at an elementary school and I am trying to familiarize myself with the curriculum. And also, since my project theme is on library skills and information literacy skills, I see that science is a natural fit for teaching library skills and information literacy skills. So we'll explore that in more detail. But first we're going to explore 2 K through 2nd grade simulations. And the first one I'm going to do is new plants. Welcome to the New Plants module, and the simulation is up here in Watch It Grow. And I like this module. I think it's easy to use. You're just simply clicking the mouse. I know that the kindergartners at my school just went on a field trip to a farm, so I think that this would be kind of a good thing to show as a whole class because kindergartens can't really read quite yet. And they might get to practice on their own. So we're going to pick some seeds from each of the plants. We're going to go to the garden, and then it goes through several days later and simulates the growth of those seeds. And then what I like about it is I think this is a good simulation to introduce the different parts of a plant. And it will help students under the direction of a teacher, under teacher guidance, to identify the different parts of a plant. So I do think this is a good simulation. I do not think it's standalone unless you have students that are high-level readers that can read this. But I do think that a teacher can introduce the simulation and then the students can practice it. All right. How this applies to my project theme? Well, I'm doing library skills and information literacy skills. And one thing that I like about Fossweb is that they provide media. At the K through 2nd grade level, they provide links to images and links to websites as well as audio stories. And that's someone at the grade level reading stories on what plants need, their plant audio stories. So I can definitely supplement instruction by pulling the books that are related to plants that in the library for classroom use, maybe even read a book to the students on plants and helping them find websites where they can find more resources. The next model I would like to do is insects. I thought this was a really fun one and that this age level or grade level would just have a lot of fun hunting for insects. They get a magnifying glass and they start looking for the insects, and they're looking for 9. And if they find something, the picture of it will come up. And then the students are asked, is this an insect or not an insect? And it will tell them if it's the right or wrong answer. Let's go up to spider and let's see what happens when I pick the wrong answer. Insect. Not quite. And then it will go into the explanation. Again, students might need help with reading this material, but I think this is a really fun activity to do as they look for insects in the ground, and I wouldn't be surprised if we actually saw some students grabbing magnifying glasses at home and doing this. They can go from land to pond as well to look for insects. So I thought this was a real cute activity. I do see educational value in it because it's asking students to identify what is an insect and what isn't an insect. And again, I would supplement this simulation by looking for books in the library on insects, maybe reading to the students a book on insects, and then showing them more websites where they can find more information on insects. Okay, the next Fossweb is at the grade levels 3 through 6. Out of personal interest, I decided to look up food nutrition because food nutrition is very near and dear to me, and I wanted to see what this module was all about. The simulation is what's for dinner. Again, I found this to be pretty easy to use. There is a lot of text here, so this is probably for your grade 5, your grade 6 level student. At first, when I downloaded this one, I had issues with the Adobe Shockwave, and my computer is an older computer, so my only concern here is if the computers that the students are using, if they're newer or not. There was just a little troubleshooting that had to take place. As you can see, it's working now. Since there is a lot of text here, there's no way for me to enlarge it, and I do have a concern for our visually impaired students. They may not be able to read this and read the directions like other students would, but that's something that we would have to troubleshoot. So basically this is asking you to move food onto a plate. That's 425 calories and 15% fat. And then you'll get some options. I like this food violation, too many categories. I like this module. I think it's a good way to get kids starting to think about what foods they should eat on their plate. I don't know at the grades 5 or 6 level if they can understand how many calories are too much, how many proteins are too much, how much fat, and why. That's not included in this module, so this is not standalone. Definitely you would need to include further instruction as to why it's important to stay within the calorie range. But I think this is just fun as they try to put together meals. So too few calories, so I think this is the right answer here. And I like the sound effects. I thought they were really cute. There we go. And I thought this would be something fun for the kids to try to think about putting meals together. I also like this particular module because they provide library books. So this would actually be a really good resource for me as a librarian to use to research these books and find out if they're appropriate for our curriculum and if indeed they should be included in our library collection. So I really like this module. And finally, my last module that I am reviewing is Living Systems. And again, Living Systems, they included the What's for Dinner module. I'm going to go to the mammalian, circulatory, and respiratory systems. And this is really nothing more than text that you would get in a book. The picture is somewhat animated, so you get to see how blood flows and the heart pumps. But there really is no interaction with the student. So for educational value, if textbooks are absent from a class, and in this day and age of budget shortfalls, sometimes textbooks are absent, this would be a good replacement. I'm not sure if I would necessarily use this module simply because there's no way for the students to interact. There's a little bit more interaction in the simulation. Basically, they're seeing how the cells, the blood flow and capillaries, and the cells exchange gases, and they can click on how they exchange water, what cells do to get their energy from food, how waste is eliminated, and then I really like the how they all kind of work together, so they can kind of see that. So I do like this part of the module. I think it's a very creative way to show blood flow. Versus just looking at a picture in the book. I think this is a good way. Okay, so for Fossweb, for all these modules, I did think that they were really easy to use with my mouse. I'm not sure what they would be like on a laptop or if they're even capable on an iPad, but I did use my mouse. And I did like how in the grades 3 through 6, the simulations all included library books to choose from and for further research. And so that concludes my screencast on 4 reviews of 4 simulations Fossweb.